Yes.
Is there a Hawaiian tradition or Huna idea around preparing for marriage?
Preparing for marriage.
Spiritually preparing for marriage.
In the old days, in the culture itself, when there was a marriage that was going to happen between people of very high rank in the aristocracy, the ali'i, there would be a lot of ritual preparation, because you were bringing together two people of great mana, of great spiritual power. And you had to make sure that that coming together was harmonious and would have harmonious effects. Because when there's great power brought together, if it's not in harmony, it can be very destructive. So they would have preparation, and they would have rituals and prayers and all kinds of things in preparation for such a joining. Now, in the older tradition, among what are called the common people, who are the original inhabitants, the maka'ainana, there would not seem to be a very big outer ritual, mainly because they weren't allowed to have big outer rituals once the aristocracy got in place. Okay? But they did have their own things that they did. And based upon, for instance, this is very interesting, the word for marriage is au, A-O, which not only means daylight, but it means a companion, an advisor. It has reference to the high self, and it has reference to harmony and working together and being together and just living in the world and all kinds of things, an outer expression of the inner world. So although they weren't allowed to have elaborate external ceremonies, they would go into a marriage with this understanding of what the word means. Ho'au is the word to marry, but it's not that simple. Okay? There's an awful lot of other stuff behind it. And in addition, traditionally, marriage was carried out on the 11th night of the moon. Now what this means is that when we count in the Hawaiian system, calendar system, they counted the first night of the moon was called hilo, and it was the very, very first slight sliver that you could see. And that began the month. Counting that night as one, on the 11th night is when they would traditionally have a marriage ceremony. And the interesting thing, every night had a name. The name of that night was Huna, which not only means hidden and refers to the ancient knowledge, but also has within it a kind of a secret knowledge, which is the joining of Hu and Na, the joining of chaos and order, the joining of male and female. Okay? So, yeah, all of these things were understood by the people, but they had to do it in a very low-key way.